It's time for Michigan's retirement coach, Mike Douglas.
Glad to have you here with us with Michigan's retirement coach, certified financial planner, Mike Douglas. MichigansRetirementCoach.com is where you can go if you have questions, you want to talk to Mike, you want to talk to Mike's team, about all the things you're thinking about when it comes to your finances and making sure that you're prepared for retirement. Then let's get to work on that. We also have links posted in the show notes. Again, it's MichigansRetirementCoach.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Michigan's Retirement Coach on YouTube as well. Just coach, all the places.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that button. Okay, so we wanted to do, this is kind of like a one-off thing about what's going on with the Social Security. I guess it was a breach on the dark web. Basically, your Social Security number could be up for sale. You've heard of the dark web. You probably have not had a lot of experience in the dark web. Hopefully, if you're the good kind of man and woman that, Mike, you so often work with in your office. Basically, it's just a place where scammers and people that are up to bad things go to buy personal information, and they use it for all of the things you hear about that happen to innocent people, as far as their identity being stolen or them being ripped off, etc. So in this latest big data breach that happened, details from the records of 3 billion people, not just here in the US, but also in Canada and the UK, went up for auction on the dark web. And here is cybersecurity expert Dave Hatter and what he had to say about it.
Nothing is safe at this point. There have been numerous people that have confirmed that this data is out there. The hackers have asked for a substantial amount of money for the data. And that's the point I'm always trying to make to people when they say, why does this happen? There's enormous amount of money to be made when you can steal data like this. And this particular data came from a company called National Public Data. They do background checks. So, think about it for a second. If you've ever gone through a background check process, they're collecting extremely sensitive data about you.
I feel like anybody who's applied for a job has gone through some sort of background check. Basically, unless you have taken a very proactive approach to ensure that your information isn't doctors' offices to collect this information, Mike. So it's just out there. Data breaches happen. We hear about them more and more and more. It's one reason why nearly 20,000 people above the age of 60 fall victim to costly scams every year. What information and insight do you want to share with folks about this data breach and really any others we need to be aware of and what we need to be thinking about our approach, et cetera?
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about what happened with this one, because there's been a lot of confusing information out there. And so what it is like they said, there's this background data company, those background checks, and each of us who's ever been on the internet with any of our stuff has data points available. Mm-hmm. And so what they did is when internet companies, think about like Facebook, Google, anything that you use for free. We don't pay a subscription to Facebook. We don't pay
Nothing
a subscription to Google. The rule
Nothing is free.
Yeah. The rule is if you're not paying a fee, they're selling you to advertisers. Mm-hmm. So what they do is they collect data points on you, anything they can. Now, these background companies, they're collecting things like, think about any question they may have asked you about security checks, right? Did you ever own a 1996 Chevy Cavalier? Did you ever are you associated with this address? Have you ever owned, this, that, whatever else? Did you ever live in this state? These are all questions they have based on data points they have about you, right? That the national databases have as security checkpoints to make sure it's to make sure someone doesn't steal your identity.
Yeah.
If you can answer these questions correctly, then we can prove that you are Heather, you are Mike, you are that right person, and therefore you're verified. And so what was stolen was actually 3 billion data points.
Okay.
Right. And so of the people who are out there, 3 billion data points. So for example, for me, they're going to have the address I grew up on, the college I went to, any car that's ever been registered in my name. Mm-hmm. These are all like, kind of somewhat public information that's available out there if people research it. And so think about that, any address you've had. Well, shoot, Kimberly and I have had 5 addresses. She's had several on her own because when she went to school, she had an address. When I went to school, I had an address and all these things. And so those are all data points. So they say that the average person has like 5,000 data points on them that are out there for sale. And not always like in a negative for sale, but some of it's like, to advertisers or whatever. So this company that had this database got breached through the complicated part is they had like this secondary site, and they got breached the secondary site.
Okay.
And when they were breached, this company, this has happened back in April, by the way. It's not new. It happened in
It's just coming to
April.
light. Yeah.
Well, then the people who stole it went dark for 4 months. And then in August came out and posted, hey, we have this information. Does anybody want to buy it? They posted it on the dark web. And as a result, it went for sale in August. And that's when everybody says, holy cow, did you know about this? Well, it happened 4 months ago. And they put it up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And when they put it up for sale, that flagged everything. Now there's a class action lawsuit against the company that was hacked. But most importantly is what you can do as a person.
Yeah.
So number one, you want to protect yourself. There is an easy way to see if you've been breached. There's a website called pentester.com.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's the exact one. Yeah.
And I think it's npd.pentester, pentester.com.
Yes. Yep. So, and literally it's from a company. It's called, they're a penetration testing company to see if anybody's broken through to your information. It's a free check. I did it for myself, for Kimberly. You go in, you put in very minimal information, and they go through and they tell you exactly where, if it's part of this breach or not.
Okay.
If you are part of the breach, it's pretty easy what you do. You just call the 3 major credit bureaus and you would freeze your credit. Now,
You don't have
I
to
know
call them, though. You can just Google, how do I freeze my credit on the 3 different, I mean, there's different ways to do it. I do it through the internet just because usually when you try calling these places, there's nobody to answer the phone, just FYI.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you just want to freeze your credit at the 3 major bureaus. Now, if you're going through some process, let's say you're buying a home, you are buying a car, and right now you need your credit to be used. You just need to find out, one, if you were hacked, one, if you're part of the breach. So number one, check that out. Number 2, you need to let the people you are purchasing through, like if you're buying a car or buying a home, you need to go to the mortgage company
And your credit's going to be checked.
Yeah.
But
so
it's frozen.
Listen, I've got this going on. I was part of this breach. We need to do both things in sync. We need to protect my identity and also get this house built,
Yeah.
Or house bought, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So you can work hand in hand, but by doing that, by freezing it, you can have absolutely nothing happen using your credit. You want to make sure that you're checking your accounts, check your bank, especially if you find that you have been, breached. Again, when Kimberly and I went through and we saw that we were not part of the breach, our information was not out there. I still reached out to the credit bureaus because I just want to make sure. But I put myself on a monitoring or notification base. I didn't freeze it because we weren't part of that.
Yeah.
But I've had several clients who they were part of it and their information was breached. So we had them freeze their credit. We had them check all their accounts, change their passwords, do all the little things you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Update your passwords. Make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, and then just keep a little closer eye on your accounts than normal. So again, this is nothing to be freaked out about. It happens kind of commonly.
And it's only good. The further we move into the digital age, which is what the world is, we're never going back.
Yeah.
The more awareness you need to have as far as your digital footprint and your digital life, but also it's just going to keep happening more and more.
Yeah. And it's unfortunately, it's just like it used to be the guys calling you, trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
And so the scamming's not new. It's just the model. They used to at least have to talk to you to try and scam you out of whatever.
Right.
And there's bad guys everywhere. And so unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to avoid it. We just want to be aware of where we are, not be frightened by it. And another great thing is that most times, if you do go through something like this, your credit card companies will make you right. Your bank will make you right. It's just a stinky process to go through that can take weeks, if not months. Yeah. So get ahead of it. Check your accounts, check your credit, use the Pen Tester website, npd.pentester.com, and just check on these things, make sure you're okay. And if you have any questions about how to do this, shoot us a message. You can reply to this or comment to this. Our website is lifeplanwealth.com. If you do want just someone to explain this at a deeper level, you can reach out to us, lifeplanwealth.com. But yeah, it's a pretty basic thing. It's not as scary as it's being made to sound because again, the 3 billion number is a crazy number.
It is, but also it's just a reality of life. Tragically, this is just the world we live in now. So it's like, don't be afraid of it. It's like a lot of things with money. Don't be afraid. Be proactive.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you can't be scared to drive because you could get in an accident. You just have to be a smart driver and avoid every accident you can. So that's kind of the message here today is just to go through those steps.
Do your due diligence.
Yeah.
MichigansRetirementCoach.com. Lifeplanwealth.com. That also works. There's so many websites. You're just all over the place.
Sorry.
You're good. We're all over the place. Also got links posted in the show notes. I could probably put that website in the show notes too. I'm going to work on making that link easy for people to click on.
Yeah.
Or again, Michigan'sRetirementCoach.com. Stay diligent, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit michigansretirementcoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.